there beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Before we get into this video, I just want to say that I have literally just woken up. I woke up about 20 minutes ago and I'm now filming this. I have never filmed a video this early in my entire life. It's like 20 past 12, which is like really early for me. So hence why I look a little bit tired and a little bit not my best. So yeah, but this is the only chance I'm going to get to film it today, and I need to film it today because I spent ages planning it late at night last night, and I have Kaya's MacBook here, so it's the only chance I'm going to get to edit probably this week. So yeah, and I have no makeup on because I have until 2 o'clock to film this video and edit and eat and tidy up my bedroom. So yeah, I do not have time to make myself look pretty, so I'm sorry about that. Moving on. So today's video is a theme park slash ride slash travel anxiety tips video. I don't suffer with like major anxiety myself, but I do have times where I get really anxious, and I do have certain things that trigger off like my anxiety, and like I don't suffer with like panic attacks and stuff like that. Thank God, I'm so lucky in the fact that I don't suffer with anything like that. But I do have the odd times where I do feel really anxious. I feel like I can't breathe. I feel like I just need to take a breather. I need to take a break. So yeah, not necessarily at theme parks, but I mean sometimes if I'm like going on a new ride I've never been on before, or if there's like a lot of people around, that can set off my anxiety. So yeah, and I know so many people that do suffer with like panic attacks and they have like major anxiety, so I thought this video might just help at least like 2 people, and if it helps nobody then that's great, because I've just wasted my time planning this at 10:30 last night. But I mean, if it helps one person then I will be really happy. So yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody has different things that work for them. I feel like everybody has anxiety, like everyone has, we all just have it at different levels. So I'm sort of like a medium, I'd say. I'm not like, I don't have like major anxiety, I don't have like little anxiety. I feel like I'm sort of like in the middle. So yeah, and these things help me, or like they would help me if I was in like a situation, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna start off with travel. Now I found this one really hard because I don't suffer with travel anxiety. The only travel anxiety I get is when I'm on a plane, but I haven't been on a plane since I was like 3 years old and I don't even remember it. And I've not been on a plane since, so I don't know what it's like. But if I was to go on a plane I would feel very, very anxious, because I don't know why. I'm just scared of planes. I'm scared of like just being in the sky in like this vehicle, and you hear all about these plane crashes, and I don't know, it just even talking about it, like I've got like butterflies in my stomach. But I don't suffer with travel anxiety like when I'm in the car, like because I'm so used to just being in the car, like I don't suffer with it. I kind of like it. I like long car journeys, and I don't mind being like on a coach or anything like that. I mean, I hate being on a coach, but I don't get like anxiety over it. It's just sort of like planes, I guess. Like I'm fine on a train and all that. So yeah, so obviously this was really hard for me because I travel in a car, like my dad just drives us everywhere. So the first tip I have is to listen to music. Now this might be like an obvious one, but I feel like most people like might just forget, because you're so like, if you do suffer with like travel anxiety, like in a car, then I feel like you'd kind of forget to listen to music, and you'd forget like what you have around you, and I don't know, I feel like you just forget everything. Like, I don't know, everyone suffers with it differently, and everyone has different like symptoms, but I don't know. But yeah, just listen to music, just get some earphones, listen to music, listen to your favourite singer, listen to your favourite songs. Make like, I'd recommend making like a playlist, whether that's on like YouTube or Spotify or whatever like music service thing you listen to. Make a playlist of like your favourite songs, or have like an anxiety playlist where you have all the songs that will make you feel calm. For me, I would have Ariana Grande songs because she is my life. So yeah, I would just make that playlist full of Ariana Grande songs. I'd have all of my favourite songs from her, and then I'd also add in a few calmer songs as well. I'd also add in a few calming noises, like the waves. Like, you can go on YouTube and you can get like 3-hour videos of just like the ocean and like the waves, or like the rain. It's like, it's whatever calms you down the most. So yeah, listen to music, or you can download these like calming apps for anxiety, and like you can listen to a person and they'll tell you like what to do and stuff. Like, they'll tell you like how to breathe, and they'll give you calming sounds to listen to, and they are really good, they're really helpful. So I'll do my research and I'll link some down below if it's something that would help you guys. The next thing I have is to distract yourself. I feel like the minute you start feeling anxious, that's all you can think about. You can't really focus on anything else. So just take a big deep breath and just go to sleep. Or if you're too anxious to go to sleep, then listen to music. If you have like data, then you can watch like YouTube, or you can watch Netflix on your phone, or like if you take a laptop and you can like get your hotspot on your laptop, then you can just watch something on the internet. And if you have somebody with you, then like talk to them, like say how excited you are for the holiday, and like plan out what you're gonna do, like where you're gonna go next and all that. Yeah, I feel like just distract yourself. Don't sit there thinking about your anxiety, because trust me, I do that a lot, and that is the worst thing you can do. So yeah, I just say like distract yourself, just look out the window. If you're filming a vlog, then vlog. Yeah, just try and take your mind off your anxiety. I was watching Zoella's video that she did on travel anxiety. This is kind of like inspiration from that video. But yeah, she said in that video that if you do something every 10 minutes, it calms you down apparently, and it like makes you forget about your anxiety. So yeah, do something every 10 minutes. So maybe you read a book for 10 minutes, and then you could listen to a podcast for 10 minutes, and then you could like go to sleep for 10 minutes. You could like if you have a colouring book or something, colour in for 10 minutes, like do your makeup, like just try and distract yourself and do something every 10 minutes, because apparently that works. I don't know, I've never tried that before, but I mean apparently it works. So if you've tried it, then let me know in the comments. And the final tip I have for travel is to bring something from home. Now I don't get travel anxiety, I get homesick quite a lot. Like, I don't like being away from home for too long. I don't like being away from my cats for too long. I don't like, even though I kind of don't like where I live, like I don't like being away from it, if that makes sense. And like I like my bedroom, do you know what I mean? Because like I've had a makeover of it now, and I really like how it's all set out. And it's just very, cause my bedroom is quite small, so it's like nice and cozy, and it's somewhere I can come just to like calm down, and I feel safe in my bedroom. So I do get homesick quite a lot, which can set off my anxiety. But yeah, I'd always say like bring something from home. I always bring a blanket with me. Even if it's like really hot, I still bring a blanket with me. I also bring my pillow with me as well, and then it's like I've always sort of got like a piece of my bed with me. Like, this will sound like ridiculous to some people, but like if you suffer with like homesickness and like travel anxiety, then you'll know what I mean. But yeah, bring something from home. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be a teddy bear, could be a jumper, could be like, it could be anything. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's something that would help you calm down, and like do it for you. Like, if someone's like judging you for it, just ignore them, because if they're judging you for it, they obviously don't know what it's like to feel anxious about it, and they've probably never suffered with like travel anxiety in their life. So yeah, just take something that's going to make you feel comfortable. I usually take something to like cuddle up with, so I might take like my teddy bear, or I take my icon jacket, just because that makes me feel nice and safe, and like I can just cuddle up to it, so I feel nice and cozy and calm. So yeah, it doesn't matter what it is, just bring something from home. And also always take a water bottle and some snacks, because I feel like drinking and eating can really help with your anxiety. I mean, it does for me anyway. Whether that's just because I like eating and I eat way too much, I don't know, but it helps for me. So okay, so now going on to theme parks. So you've done the traveling, you've got past the travel, well done. You didn't have a panic attack, you didn't freak out, you took on all of my tips, and your journey has been a success. You are now at the theme park, and your anxiety, I've got a really itchy back. So you're now at the theme park and your anxiety is playing up again. So I have some tips. So tip number 1 is breathe. Like, just breathe. And I know how hard it is to forget to actually breathe when you're in your sort of anxious mode, but like, just breathe, because breathing, honestly, it will, I was about to say it will save your life, but obviously it will, because we need to breathe to be alive. But like, just take in deep breaths, and then exhale deep breaths. I usually go in for like, I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I take 4 in and 8 out, I think. I don't know, but do something like that. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't have to say out the numbers, but I'm just saying this so you guys get the idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that, if you do that multiple times, hopefully it will calm you down. It definitely calms me down if I just take big deep breaths. Take on Ariana Grande's advice, just keep breathing and breathing and breathing and breathing. So yeah, like, just breathe, because I know how hard it is to actually control your breathing when you're feeling super anxious, or if you're having a panic attack. Then like, just breathe, you know. My next tip is to just take it slow. I feel like most people at a theme park, most people kind of like running to each ride. God, just the thought of running makes me out of breath. Wow. Yeah, like, people like to run to each ride, and they like to get on as many rides as possible, and like, I do understand that, but if that's what makes you anxious, then just take it slow. Even if that means possibly sort of being on your own, then like, trust me, it'll be worth it, because at least you won't be feeling anxious. So just take it slow. Maybe start off on like the smaller rides, and then work your way up to the bigger rides. And if you can't do the bigger rides, then like, that's fine, like, it doesn't matter. So yeah, like, just take it slow, just like walk, and I'd suggest like going on rides that don't have like a massive queue, because then that means like if a lot of people being around you triggers your anxiety like it does with me, then obviously being in a big queue with a lot of people is gonna possibly make you have a panic attack if you have like severe anxiety. But obviously if you're gonna wait in a queue that isn't very long, then there won't be many people around you and it might make you feel a little bit calmer. So yeah, just take it slow. You don't have to do like every single ride on the park. You don't have to like do all the major big rides. Like, do what feels comfortable for you, and like if you want to take a break, take one. If you want to just sit down in the cafe, like do it, because like there is nothing wrong with that. So yeah, just take it slow, you know, don't go like rushing around, because it will kind of like set like I'm sure like you'll have adrenaline anyway from all of the rides, so if you're kind of rushing around it will sort of add extra adrenaline and it might make your anxiety just like fly through the roof, which obviously you don't want at a theme park because you go there to have fun. So yeah, the next tip I have is to get Fast Track or a Speedy Pass or like whatever sort of fast skipping the queue service a theme park has. I kind of went for Fast Track / Speedy Pass because Fast Track got the towers and like Thorpe Park and all that, and then Speedy Pass is at Pleasure Beach. But yeah, the reason I recommend this is because, again, it's kind of like the people thing. If being around a large group of people sets your anxiety off, if you got Fast Track or Speedy Pass, then you could just like skip the queue and get straight on the ride without having to queue up. And then there's usually like nobody in the Speedy Pass queue. I mean, a Speedy Pass queue doesn't even exist. So I mean, like, yeah, there won't be, if you get Speedy Pass, then there won't be many people around you. And you can just like skip the massive queue, you can skip past the large group of people, and you can get on the rides like straight away. And yeah, it just means you'll be able to just skip past the large group of people, and then hopefully that'll make you a lot calmer. I remember in November closing weekend last year, 2017, it was so busy and like I felt so anxious. Like when I first got there, I was literally like on the verge of tears because I felt so like anxious. Like I was on my own as well because my parents went to check into the hotel and my dad hadn't got a wristband for that day anyway. He got a wristband for the next day. And it was late night riding as well. This was the Saturday, so they were open 10 until 10 and we got there about 12ish. So my parents went to check in at the hotel and I was just sort of there on my own, and like I felt so anxious, and like I just felt like calling them up and saying like, can you come and get me, like I don't like, this was a mistake, like I don't want to be here. But then I met up with like Claudia and her friend, and they made me feel a little bit calmer, but I was still feeling quite anxious because the park was just like ridiculously busy, and there were just so many people around. And we decided to go on Grand National, and there was like this massive queue for it, and like I just wanted to go home because my camera just stopped recording. But yeah, I literally just wanted to go home because I just felt so anxious. But then I met up with like a few other people that I know and stuff, and like a big group of, no, it wasn't like a massive group, but I met up with a few people, and we all got Speedy Pass, and like my anxiety went from like up here to like all the way down here. Like as soon as I got a Speedy Pass and as soon as I got to know everyone and stuff, like I felt so much calmer because we didn't have to queue in like these massive queues, and like it was just so nice. So yeah, trust me, a speedy pass, I mean, it might not work for you, but it definitely worked for me because I've never felt that anxious in a theme park before. And Blackpool Pleasure Beach is my favourite place on this planet. Like, I don't want to go there and feel anxious and feel like I want to come back home. So I'm so glad and so grateful that I decided to get a speedy pass, because I honestly don't know what I would have done without the speedy pass. So yeah, trust me, I've tried that a lot. I can't speak. I have tried out that method and it works. So yeah. My next tip is don't do something that you don't want to do. So like, don't be forced to go on a ride that you don't want to go on. Like, if you are feeling super anxious and you've just come off like a really nice calm ride, and you're not feeling too anxious at the moment, like you're just okay, I feel like going on like a big massive ride might set off your anxiety again, and sort of being pressured into it, I guess, like peer pressure for rides. But yeah, like, just don't do something that you don't want to do. I mean, you might like go on a ride and then you might sort of enjoy it after all that, but if you like really don't want to do it and your friends are trying to make you do it, don't let them. Like, don't be forced onto a ride that you don't want to go on, because again, that will just set off your anxiety. And if you're at like a good place at the moment, then obviously you don't want your anxiety playing up again. So yeah, just do the rides that you want to do, and even if it means sort of like just waiting, like being the bag holder, then like do it. So yeah, I'd also recommend sort of having more than one day in the theme park, because you might have like, you might go to a theme park one day and be super anxious and do all the smaller rides, but then the next day you could be feeling like super happy and like anxiety doesn't even exist anymore, and then that's the day where you can do like all the bigger rides and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, like, don't do something you don't want to do, because obviously that's going to set off your anxiety again and you don't want to do that. So yeah. My next tip is to keep on talking to people. I feel like this really helps me, because if I keep on talking to people, it kind of distracts me from my anxiety. I'm getting anxious talking about anxiety. How weird is that? But yeah, if I keep on talking to people, it really helps me, because it kind of like distracts me from anxiety, and like it takes my mind off it and stuff. So usually if I go to a theme park, I'm either with Kaya and my dad, or I'm just with my dad. So usually, I mean, I'm mainly just with my dad because Kaya doesn't do the bigger rides. So yeah, like when I'm with my dad, like we just like keep on talking to each other, and I always ask like what's the time, and we always like talk about the ride we're about to go on and stuff, and like what we want to do next, and like what time we're going home and stuff like that. And I feel like talking just helps me so freaking much. Also, it's gonna sound so rude, but like listening in on other people's conversations like makes me calmer as well. And like, I don't know why, like it just does. Like if we're in like a big queue and someone's like in front of us and you've got people like behind us as well, just listening into their conversations can be really funny, and like it just makes me laugh and makes me calm. Like, it's really rude, and like I don't like go around spreading like their conversations, and I normally forget what they were talking about anyway. Like as soon as I get on the ride, like I don't even remember what they look like. But yeah, I don't know, it just makes me really calm, and if that makes me a terrible person, then I'm sorry. The next tip I have is to watch videos and POVs beforehand. Now this really helps me, not necessarily now, because I feel like my anxiety, like I've managed to control it a lot better, and because I'm used to going to theme parks all the time, like I don't really get anxious about them anymore. I just get anxious about like new rides. Like if I've never been on a ride before and like I'm scared of it, obviously I'm gonna feel super anxious. But yeah, like if you've never been to the theme park that you're going to before, you don't know what the rides are like, then watch vlogs and POVs. POVs help me so freaking much. It's like the first time I went on the big one, I kind of knew what to expect because I'd watched a POV of it so many times beforehand, which made it a lot less scarier for me. And like I knew sort of what to expect, and like it helped me so much, and because I'd watched it like 50,000 times beforehand. So yeah, also the same with like Icon and Infusion. I'd watched like thousands of POVs of them, and like it just helps me so much because I kind of know what to expect. And like I always watch ride reviews as well, which I kind of mainly like in vlogs. But yeah, I don't really have any channels that I'd recommend for like vlogs. Like I don't really watch any theme park channels anymore. Like I used to, but now I just don't. I feel like I've kind of faded away from the whole theme park channel thing, which is really sad. But like I don't know anyone that does like decent vlogs anymore, like Blackpool Pleasure Beach vlogs and Fantasy Island vlogs and all that. So yeah, like I don't know who I'd recommend. I wouldn't recommend myself because my vlogs are absolute shite. So I definitely wouldn't recommend watching my vlogs, but I don't know. I mean, if you just Pleasure Beach Experience are quite good with their vlogs. I feel like they're the only sort of decent vloggy YouTubers out there, and that sounds so offensive, but that's just in my opinion. Like I don't really watch theme park channels anymore. So yeah, the only sort of like committed YouTubers I watch nowadays are Skirny Jolie's, Anastasia Kingsworth, Sprinkle Glitter. That's it, I think. Like they're the YouTubers that I consistently watch. Like I watch, if somebody like uploads a video, then I'll watch it, like Joe Sugg and Zoella and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, this has gone into a complete different topic. But yeah, I'd recommend watching videos and POVs beforehand because it helps a lot. Well, it helped me anyway. So hopefully it will help you guys as well. My next tip is to drink water. Because whenever I'm at a theme park, I always have to have a drink with me. Like always. Even if it's not necessarily with me, I always have to ask my mum to get me a drink and she can keep hold of it, and every time I come off a ride I just like have some of my drink. I usually get like a bottle of Pepsi or something because I'm really unhealthy, and water doesn't really calm me. Water just makes me more anxious. But if water is the thing that calms you, always have a bottle of water on hand. There is always places in theme parks where you can get drinks and you can get water and like Pepsi and stuff. I mean, people say to like stay away from caffeine and fizzy drinks when you're feeling anxious, but I mean like just a bottle of Pepsi just makes me really calm, and that makes me a weird person, but I don't really care because it makes me calm and that's all that matters. So there you go. So no matter what drink it is, always have a drink on hand. If you finished your drink, get another one. Like it doesn't matter how many drinks you have in the day. Yeah, you may be peeing a lot by the end of it, but it was worth it, right? Because it calmed you down and it helped you have a better day at the theme park. So yeah. But yeah, every time I'm at a theme park, I always like, cause my mum is the bag holder, because she doesn't come on the rides. I always ask my mum like, can you get me a bottle of Pepsi, and then like if I run out of that one, I'll ask her to go and get me another one. Like I always have to have a drink on hand with me, because it just makes me feel a lot more calmer and stuff. It also wakes me up a bit as well, because I'm usually knackered every time I go to a theme park, because it just tires me out so much. So if I have like a bottle of Pepsi with me, it kind of wakes me up as well and gives me more energy and like adrenaline. And the final tip I have for the theme parks section is to go on slow rides. Now I kind of briefly mentioned this like when I said just take it slow, but yeah, just go on like the slow rides if that's what makes you happy, and if that's what makes you calm, like perfect, fine. Like it doesn't matter. You don't have to go on like the big massive thrill rides to have a good day at a theme park. So say if you were going to Blackpool Pleasure Beach, I'd recommend going on stuff like Alice in Wonderland, River Caves, Wallace and Gromit. Like just go on all the dark rides, go on all the slow rides. Grand Prix is a really good one to go on as well. So yeah, I just recommend going on the slow rides. And like I said earlier, if you have like 2 days at the theme park, like 2 or more days, then like one day you can go on the slow rides, and then if you're feeling better the next day, that's the day where you can just make the most of the big rides and stuff. So yeah, when in like a few years ago, like when I hadn't got over my fear of like bigger rides, like the big one stuff, I always used to sort of just go on the slower, smaller rides, and like I still ended up having a really good time, even though I only rode the smaller rides and that's it, but I still ended up having a really good time, and it made me more calmer. So it, like I didn't really care, like I just enjoyed it. So yeah. Okay, the final section is rides. Now ride anxiety for me, like don't even get me started, because I just, the amount of times that I felt anxious about going on rides is ridiculous. And I don't really get anxious about them anymore. It's just sort of when I was first doing them, when I got over my fear of them at first, like that's when I'd feel most anxious. Like I have done videos of like how to get over your fear of like roller coasters and stuff, and like they're tips from like my experiences. So yeah, but I mean I don't really feel anxious about them anymore, but these are the tips that I've learnt from previous experiences. So my first tip is to just scream, and I feel like I say this in like every single get over your fear video, but like it honestly, it helps me so much, and I always get comments like, oh thank you, like you've really helped me and stuff. So yeah, like just scream. Like there's nothing wrong with screaming, even if nobody else is screaming with you. Like just scream. Most of the time if I'm on a roller coaster and nobody else is screaming, I'll just scream anyway, because it calms me and it makes me enjoy the ride a lot more, and it makes me less scared. So if nobody else is screaming, who cares? You go on a ride to scream. Like you'll always hear people screaming on rides and like roller coasters and stuff. So there is nothing wrong with screaming, because that's what theme parks are kind of all about. Like if you don't scream, then are you really having a good time? So yeah, like just scream. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Even if the person sat next to you is telling you to shut up, tell them to scream as well, because it's the fun of it, you know? Like just scream, doesn't matter. Me and my dad always laugh about how much I scream on like Infusion and stuff. Because I scream so much on Infusion. And me and my dad always come off laughing about it, because I basically just deafen my dad, so you can't be as bad as me. So there you go. My next tip is to close your eyes. Now this might work for some people, this might not. I feel like some people might think of closing your eyes as like that'll make it worse for them, but for me personally, like closing my eyes made it a lot better. And that sounds really weird, because if you close your eyes and you don't really know what's going to happen, but I don't know, for me like just closing my eyes just kind of helped, because I'd already watched the POVs, so I sort of knew what to expect anyway, so closing my eyes kind of didn't really make a difference for me. It did, like it made me a lot calmer, but you know, I knew what to expect anyway, because I'd have like the POV in my head. So yeah, like just close your eyes, and even if you just close your eyes like for the lift hill, then do it. I remember when I first went on the big one, I just had my head down and my eyes closed just for the lift hill, and then once we got past that first drop, that's when I could like open my eyes, and like that helped me, you know, the very first time I went on the big one. Like that just helped me be a lot more calmer. And yeah, even though I screamed like so much, but like who cares, you know? So yeah, closing your eyes, it may help you, it may not, but it's just sort of whatever works for you. My next tip is to hold on, just because like so many people on that ride are like waving their arms up in the air and like doing stupid things or whatever. Like, it doesn't mean you have to do it as well. Like, just if holding on makes you a lot more calmer and it makes you feel a lot more safe, then hold on. Like, I hold on all the time. I am the worst for like letting go and like putting my arms up. Like, I've been on the big one over 50 times and I still can't wave my arms in the air. Like, I always have to hold on super tight. So the next tip I have is to be prepared. Now this kind of ties in with the sort of watch videos and vlogs beforehand. I also feel like be prepared kind of build yourself up for it, and kind of when you're about to go on the ride, expect the most thrilling ride of your entire life, and then when you actually go on the ride, it won't be as bad. I mean, if you're actually going on the most thrilling ride in the world, then obviously, you know, do expect the worst. But like if you're at Pleasure Beach and like you're going on Big Dipper like for the first time or something, just expect it to be super fast and like super thrilling, and then when you actually go around it won't be as bad as you thought it was going to be. So yeah, that's what I do anyway. If I'm about to go, like with Icon, I full on prepared myself and built myself up to expect like the most thrilling ride of my entire life. And to be honest, Icon probably is the most thrilling ride I've ever done, just because I don't get out much. But you know, like I prepared myself and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, and like it ended up being amazing. So yeah, prepare yourself. And then the final tip I have is to have somebody with you. Now this is like a massive thing for me. Like, I always have to have somebody with me if I'm going to a theme park. I can ride rides on my own. I mean, it's a bit boring, but you know, like I can do it on my own. I just find that being with somebody kind of calms me down, and like they can help me with all of these things that I've just mentioned. Like, they can help me distract myself, they can talk to me, they can sit next to me on the ride so I'm not on my own, they can scream with me, like they can help me. And I just, being on my own, like I hate it so much, especially when I'm at a theme park. Hence why I felt so anxious in November, because I was just on my own. So yeah, and like I felt super anxious, but once I was like with people, like I calmed down so much. So yeah, like I feel like always have someone, or always have like a group of people with you, because they can help so much. If they are like true friends or like true family and they really do support you, they will help you. So yeah, always have somebody with you, because for me that is like a massive like thing. I always have to go to a theme park with somebody. So yes, those are all of the tips that I have for travel slash theme park slash ride anxiety. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counsellor. These aren't like professional tips. These are just things that have worked for me in the past. Like I said, everyone is different, everyone has different anxiety levels. Some of this might not work for you at all, some of it might work for you a little bit, all of it might have worked for you, I don't know. But I just really wanted to do this video because anxiety, for me, I feel like it's a very like big thing, so, and like it needs to be like talked about and stuff, so it feels a little bit more normal. And hopefully this video has helped at least one person, and if you were that one person that this video helped, then please comment down below, so this hasn't just been a complete waste of my time. So yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you have any more tips, then leave them in the comments down below for other people to read. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys, love you.